and they were busy trying to hit you, and then they're going, oh, crumbs, he blocked. They have not yet realized that you've made a 6-inch step. Now you're throwing from a different place than they think you are for just one blow. After that, most fighters will adjust, and they will really adjust to your position. You've lost it. But you get one blow where you're 6 inches at a slightly different angle than you were before, and that's golden. So while you're blocking is one of the best times to make those little 6-inch steps. Now which steps you're going to make depends on your opponent. If you've got opponents that always charge in as they attack, you're going to take a little 6-inch diagonal step backwards so that you are just at the range you want to be and at the angle you want to be after you've made your block. If they stand still or back up, you may be blocking and stepping forward at an angle. Whether you're going forward or backwards is going to depend on how they move. You're probably always going to be using one of the diagonals to get yourself to an advantageous position. Now the reason I bring this up is, okay, so remember this shot where I talked about locking the arm in and throwing from here? This is a grandly powerful, fast shot. But the hand does not have a great view. It's right here on your shoulder. They've got a shield right there. Not so good. So that's where, making your block so that you're able to create a view by a little step, then you've got something to hit with that simple shot. So rather than always reaching with your shots to awkward positions to try to give your hand a view, move the base of the cannon to give yourself a view of the shot. Don't throw the hard shot. Move the base of the whole cannon so you've got a different angle on the thing you want to hit, and throw the easy shot that works well for your body. It'll be easier on your joints, and it'll be faster and more efficient because it's the easy shot, right? So, something to think about. All right, I'm going to throw a bunch of other stuff at you since we got time.
No, nothing.
These are thoughts on successfully hitting one's opponent. One can make a successful hit without being blocked by throwing your shot at a visible opening faster than your opponent can move to block it. Well, that one's obvious. Hard to achieve, but it can be done sometimes if you're super fast or they're super slow. Okay. Same as above, but into an opening that they don't realize is vulnerable, such as the shot between the sword and the shield. They're all in position. They think they got it all covered, but you see something they don't know. You throw it fast. By the time they realize they're open, they fail to make the block. You make the hit. So that's another way of successfully hitting. Throwing your blow during a lapse in the opponent's attention. These moments can be created by manipulating the timing and range of the fight. Note that complicated maneuvers like feints will fail if thrown during the same lapse of attention on their part. So, you get all this stuff going on, you're being real tense, you relax for a moment, they relax, boom, you can hit them. Their attention went away for a moment. On the other hand, you get them in that relaxed moment and you do this fancy feint and throw, they weren't paying attention, they didn't see the feint, they're not going to respond to it. You need to feint while they're tense, right? But you want to hit them when they're relaxed, so make sure you're doing the right thing at the right time. Feinting such that your opponent commits to blocking a pretend shot, then hit into the resulting opening. Usually thrown opposite the feint. Conversion from cut to thrust, from thrust to cut are examples of this as well. So that's the obvious one. I want to hit you over there. I feint over here. If you respond to that, then I've got something to hit over there. Throwing a shot at a seemingly closed target, but in such a way that it evades the simple block. Wraps are an example like this. So if I throw a snap, onside snap, you block it, onside snap, you block it, onside snap, you block it, onside shallow wrap, same block, it goes through. So you can establish that they feel defended in one place, and then you can hit them with a slightly different shot that looks the same and hit a new angle that gets through. Throwing a shot at an open target, but in such a way that it will evade the likely block that will be used to close that target. Wraps can be an example of this as well. Also throwing a higher angle shot than looks immediately necessary. So, you see them in their guard. You see an opening here. You could try to go faster and hit them in that opening faster than they can block, right? But what if you just assume that they are going to succeed in blocking that target? Now think about, there they're standing, where's that shield going to be after they block? Now throw the blow that goes where the opening will be after they make their block. So that's what that one's about. Create an opening, preventing the shield block while throwing your own blow. Examples of this would be a shield hook or a shield press. When you throw the leg blow, they're going to want to lower their shield and get to that spot. Jam their shield so that they can't get to it. That's an example of that. So it's preventing their shield from going where they're going to want to put it. Throwing a series of blows until your opponent fails to block one. Being able to hit a great variety of places smoothly from the completion of any blow is a great advantage in this. Circle theory figure eights are pretty advantageous in that. You can throw a lot of blows, one flows into the next. You can just keep throwing and see if their brain finally loses track and they get hit. A series of blows can end in one blow of the above mentioned methods as well. Putting a trick at the end of a series of blows greatly increases the chance your opponent will fail to see the trick coming. So I've got this trick I want to do. I want to do a feint right, hit left. If I just come out and do that, he's too good. He sees that. He's seen that before. He blocks it. What if I throw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, feint right, hit left? All those other shots distract. They reduce the person's attention to the details. Then they may fall for that simple trick because their brain has been drained away by all the other stuff that came before. Manipulating your opponent into an awkward and exposed position before throwing. An example of this is making them miss a leg shot or sword blocking in such a way that pushes their sword through into an awkward finishing position. It can even follow up that by a shield pressing of the sword. So like if you'll throw here, if I do a sword block here and then push off this way, that can leave this stuff open to hit here. Something that comes classically out of the 133 manual, actually, if you'll engage again, is you'd make the block and you do a bind, and they do a lot more binding, which is easier to do with steel than rattan, oddly enough. But then they'll replace the sword with the buckler, continue to hold the bind with the buckler, and then try to hit with the sword. In 133, they really don't like your opponent to have any potential to hit you before you commit to attacking. So they're like, block, bind, hold it in place, then attack. There's none of this, I'll take my chances and see if I can hit them before they can hit me.
Wonder why.
Yeah, sharp swords, that would be why.
Death is permanent.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Throwing your shot is a repose immediately after blocking their shot. Some fighters are briefly more vulnerable after completing a blow. More advanced fighters return to a covered position during their return. So you'll need more subtle timing. And lastly, throwing your shot at a target that becomes available as your opponent is in the process of attacking. That's like attacking into the wake. As they throw, the spot that used to be covered by their sword is now open. Throw into that wake behind the sword. All right. I think that's everything we're going to cover for the advanced class. You know, I have people that really, really want to do sword and buckler stuff. We could probably, cover that in 15 minutes or so. Now that we have all the advanced
I can go
stuff.
get my armor on.
Okay. All right. So yeah, people are welcome to armor up. We'll probably get some sausages cooking in this period of time as well.